videos as a initiation, as a call to action, or like an interest kind of video. Say, do you want to learn more about this? Check out this video, or check out this landing page. And that's what people are searching for and looking for. So to share some key stats, we always talk to our clients, and what I've seen a lot across 2021, and it's going to really take over 2022, is that, and the team are learning a lot more about video execution, development, and how it all works, the specs behind it. And what we're going back to our clients now is like, right, video is what we want. We want videos of your products. We want videos of, if you've got a download guide around embedded analytics, well, give us a little video that explains this is embedded analytics. In this document, we go through X, Y, Z. Download now. That visual representation cuts through all the noise that an image can't get through. You can get more information over, you can engage people, you can track their attention better, considering that, a lot of video is mobile focused, people scrolling through. How are you going to get their attention?
Yeah. And
video is the best way to do that. But we see that shorter form video works better than creating a 30-second video. And, I admit it, when I'm on YouTube and I see, 20-second ad that's not skippable, I get frustrated. Like, no, this could have been 5-10 seconds. And then I'm more likely to be engaged because I don't mind then seeing the ads. But again, it comes down to that top funnel strategy I just mentioned, is these kind of videos will help drive engagement and awareness about your brand. And it makes more platforms accessible and video content more accessible for like SME businesses in particular, because your mobile phone is a video content creator in itself. Yeah. Which is great.
Do you know what I'm surprised about there? That you said 31% of marketers are currently creating short form videos. So that's actually quite low.
Globally, yeah.
Yet 9 out of 10 of those, it was 89%, so I'm just rounding up a little bit, 9 out of 10 are going to continue investing or do more. So they're seeing the benefit, yet there's still almost 70% of marketers not doing it. So, if that's not a piece of insight for people in 2022 to be getting on board with this type of content, then I don't know what is.
I feel like 2022 is like, it's like heed the warning, like get on board with video or get left behind, unfortunately. And if you're not going to start introducing video as part of your strategy for 2022, and you think, by the time we get to 2023, we're in a digital age, COVID forced us into a digital age, you have to get on board. And that leads me on to my final one. And I say SEO over PPC. And Google can't get mad at me because it's both Google anyway. And it's funny because before we came in, I was having an absolute rant at Google. I'm not going to cover that off, but the reason I say SEO over PPC, and you alluded to some of these points in the last episode, is, we are in a digital age now, and anyone says we're not, is lying. A lot of businesses found out very, very quickly that they relied too much on referrals and word of mouth, and their digital presence was non-existent, and everybody went digitally and embraced it. And we were forced into that to an extent. And I think that helped the industry. I think that helped the digital age. But from an SEO perspective, you need to get up to speed with the digital age. And the first thing that comes to is making sure you have a digital presence. And what you're seeing, and I've seen obviously with Trio, the amount of web projects, website projects you're doing now is through the roof. It just shows that more businesses realize that actually the web presence is up to speed and they're getting more engagement. It's how do you create that digital word of mouth? That's the key word I'm going to, spin. Is that it's not word of mouth anymore, and your business might have a good brand and you rely on your customers to refer you. It's where is your business being talked about online in a positive way? And that's where SEO becomes very, very key. And it's all about meaningful content. We're seeing more and more consumers go into Google and ask questions to get answers. And your website should be there, not to just sell and say, we do this and we do that. It's like, if you're an accountancy firm, what are the potential risks of not doing your, tax return on time? What does it mean? Why do you have to do it? A lot of people out there are looking for so much information. We work with a client, which is called Tower Street Finance, that does early inheritance. And, it's very niche, but we don't just say, push the product inheritance advantage. We say, well, what does it mean accessing your inheritance early? How can you access your inheritance early? What does it mean for you from a financial perspective? You need to consider things like probate, etc. You need to think about inheritance tax, capital gains. There's so many things around it, and we're educating them so they can make an informed decision to then say, yeah, actually, I can access my inheritance early, and these people can do it. But now have all the information to support that. Actually, that makes sense, and I can access elements before. So it's taking your customers on a journey through SEO, and it all comes down to what I say, meaningful content. So your customers are looking for answers, give it to them, and Google will give the best answer at the top. Despite the automation issues that we're seeing, which is very, very frustrating, and I liked how you worded it in the last episode in terms of, heed it as a warning. And it is frustrating as marketeers, because unfortunately, Google is inward thinking right now. I'd like someone to comment on the video and say they're not, and prove to me they're not, but the evidence is there that they are inward thinking. They're thinking more about automation and letting bots take over. And I feel that takes away the human element of it, because it's a human going in and searching for an answer. They can't expect a bot to give the answer sometimes they're looking for, and it's not going to cover off everything. So I don't like what Google's doing to some extent. I feel like, taking that control away from the consumer and the customer. And I think the biggest issue is going to impact the smaller businesses more. And that makes it a bit of an unfair playground. So, but what you can do from an SEO perspective is, create meaningful content. Look at stuff like outreach and digital PR. It's all about quality link building. Go out there and start building relationships with, specialist news or information-based websites that we talked about, content creating, through influencers. Go out and make meaningful content with them, and consider that, yes, SEO is a longer term game and it requires a lot more investment up front, but it will be more profitable long term than PPC because of the automation and where I feel like PPC is going. I am now advocating more clients to focus on SEO as the primary and use PPC to support the SEO strategy. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of keywords as a client you might want to rank for based on the terms that are related to your products or your services. PPC should be used to support where you're not on page one or on the top half of page one where your rankings fall, where you then should be happy to pay for it. But then eventually you want to get to a position where you organically rank one for it and have PPC kind of just support where there's high competition for particular keywords, and focus more on longer tail keywords, which you're not ranking for yet. So what we're seeing as an agency, what we're kind of doing is, right, getting PPC and SEO to work together. Because as you know, in PPC, and if you're not aware, Google wants you to put your broad match keywords and your exact match keywords in one ad group, whereas before it used to be broad match, ad group, phrase match, exact match. And again, it used to be just a few keywords. We'd say up to like 5, 6, or 7. But now they're like, no, put up to 20 keywords in an ad group. They're getting rid of expanded text ads in June. Yeah. So be aware of that. It's responsive ad. It means you have to come up to 9 or 10 headlines, which it will choose, which is the best one. There is a feature to pin, but again, be wary of that, you're going to lose a lot more control. So if they're adding broad match terms into exact match terms and that's getting the better results, then you need to be looking at, right, what are the long tail keywords you need to be ranking for and start bidding against them and support your SEO as a longer term strategy. So
I think we definitely need to do a PPC series.
Yeah.
We've done an SEO and video and there's so much going on in PPC that'd be good to cover that off. I think you've covered some amazing points there, Manni. And, the key thing that stood out to me through all your points is about content, creating great content. And actually, if you do that, the other things just fall into place, whether it be video, SEO, etc. So hopefully some really useful takeaways there for everyone, because I know there was for me. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week, we will be hearing Anushi's top trends for 2022. And don't forget to like, subscribe. Please go and leave a review on Apple Podcasts as well, and put your comments in the YouTube box. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd love to have a conversation with you about the trends that we've covered. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers. Bye.